Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl on your face while you're sleeping. Wandering in the depths of deep forests, you're bound to find some weird stuff. Heck, even I once found a half-cut dog in the woods, and I still haven't recovered from that experience. Even though we humans have destroyed most of the forests to raise cattle, God bless us for that, there are still some very deep jungles, and explorers have found some very unusual stuff in them, to say the very least. Today, we're looking at 10 weird things people have found in the woods. Number 1 will haunt your dreams, so watch out for that one. Number 10, money tree. Remember when you were a kid and waited to buy a lot of snacks, but your parents would not let you by saying, money doesn't grow on trees? Well, now you can show them this tree full of copper and silver coins that we found on trails from the Peak District to the Scottish Highlands. How fascinating's that? These weird spectacles often have coins from centuries ago buried deep in their bark and warped by the passage of time. The tradition of making offerings to gods at wishing trees dates back hundreds of years, but this combination of the man-made and the natural is far rarer. Did you know that it was believed that divine spirits used to live in trees? What a way to bribe the gods, right? The coins are usually knocked into felled tree trunks using stones by passers-by, who hope it'll bring them good fortune. It might not bring them a good fortune, but it'll definitely be a fortune for the person who tries to steal it one day. Who'd want to join me in doing so? Number 9, sanatorium. Back in the day, medical facilities were not as good as they are today. Now, I know most of the hospitals in the United States stink, and the ones that don't stink charge you $1 million just to fix your cough. But even compared to that, the facilities weren't as good as a century back, and there weren't any vaccines for illness, and tuberculosis was big back then. So, what did doctors used to do to help people recover from the disease? Well, they'd take the patients deep into the forest and put them in sanatoriums, a medical facility for long-term illness, most typically associated with the treatment of tuberculosis. They thought that the fresh air of the forest and living close to nature would help heal the patients. Because why spend millions on sick people when you can spend it on military and Star Wars, right? One such facility was in the Forest of Ozark in Missouri. It was created in 1913, but later closed because the doctor didn't keep in mind the long distance between the facility and the city. Explorers get to see this facility when they go wandering in the woods, for whatever reason. Number 8, Aston Martin. I can think of a million places to park my car other than the woods, and I hope you can too. But someone thought of a crazy idea of leaving them in the woods, not for a day or a month, but for 45 years. No, I'm not kidding on that one. This beautiful piece of car is the Aston Martin DB4, was found in Massachusetts woodlands. Am I the only one who feels sorry for the car? I'm sure it's seen much better days than this. Now, if you don't know a DB4's legacy, you're probably not as big as a car lover as me, but that's okay. The Aston Martin DB4 is one of the most legendary sports coupes ever built by the British manufacturer. Little over 1,000 were produced between 1958 and 1963, and it's fair to say it was one of the most powerful and desirable cars at the time, notable for being the first car to get from 0 to 100 miles per hour and back to 0 in less than 30 seconds. Now, you might be thinking that's nothing, even a Supra could achieve that, but keep in mind that it was the first ever car to do so. I'm a bit bewildered then as to why the car was abandoned and left to languish in a Massachusetts woodland for 45 years. Guess we're never going to find out, sadly. Number 7, plane in a forest. I know, that sounds weird, but believe me, the story is way weirder than the title itself. A Boeing 727 is the last thing you'd expect to see nestled in a forest. They're mostly seen crashing with engine failures, but this plane didn't crash land in the forest in Oregon, USA. You'd be surprised to know that the retired aircraft is actually now home to its owner, former electrical engineer Bruce Campbell. Complete with a cockpit, airline seats, and flight controls, home conversions don't get much more extraordinary than this. Gotta say, this is pretty darn cool and innovative. If you want to visit this, check out Bruce's website. He loves to have visitors around. Number 6, pillboxes. We all know about World War II, right? The one with machine guns, bat bombs, atomic bombs, and stuff. God, what a time that was, man. It is perhaps hard to imagine now, but there was a time when an invasion by Nazi Germany seemed inevitable. In order to fight the Nazis, Great Britain built defensive structures like pillboxes all over the country. These structures of concrete were used as shelters for machine gun users and also to save soldiers from the frequent bombing by fighter jets. These weirdly spared boxes are in abundance all over the United Kingdom and can be found even in forests and on beaches. They're a reminder of dark times still in living memory, but also of how fast change can happen. Just months after they were built, they became redundant, not just because the Germans didn't invade, but also because the way the war was waged was changing very quickly. Number 5. Abandoned car graveyard. Now, finding just one Aston Martin in the woods is weird enough for me. Imagine finding a whole car graveyard. What's this obsession some people have with leaving their beautiful cars in forests? One of the eeriest sightings in a country better known for its chocolate, comics, and beer than spookiness, the Chatillon car graveyard in Belgium is as strange a destination as they come. A series of classic cars are buried deep inside a misty woodland, and no one's been able to give an explanation as to why. A recurring urban legend has it that the cars were abandoned by American GIs after the war, and over the next 70 years, the forest grew up around them. That may be a good explanation, but what about the post-war models that are found there? Do the Belgian people leave those cars for the animals to drive? This list is starting to get a little creepy now. Even I might not be able to sleep tonight. Number 4. Breathing forest. Up next, we have another weird phenomenon that's bound to leave you shell-shocked. Don't go insulting me in the comments saying this was made by using CGI, because it's totally real. The clip captures a section of the forest in Quebec, heaving to and fro, looking like it's a living, breathing, sentient woodland. But no, there's neither any mysterious magic at work here, nor any giant Pokemon asleep under those rocks, even though, God, I wish there was. Instead, it's due to the weather conditions in the area. It's actually an understandable meteorological phenomenon in which the elements have come together just right to create this unusual scene. When you look at the trees in the background, it's clear that the winds are very strong. The forest floor seems to be moss-covered, which leaves a lot of the root system of younger trees loose. And as the wind sways the trees, you get the roots lifting from the floor. This gives the appearance of breathing. Man, nature can be really breathtaking. Pun intended. But really, this is some sight. Number 3. Humpback whale. Alright, it's hard to justify the presence of a car graveyard, breathing forest, and even a whole plain in the woods, but it's not impossible. But the next find on our list is so weird that had there been no picture proof, I would definitely think of it as a fake story. When local fishermen were walking through a mangrove forest in Brazil, they came across something that should not be there: a baby humpback whale. Researchers believe that the baby whale was likely lost at sea and died of starvation or some other unknown cause. The tides washed the whale's body to shore at Araruna Beach in the city of Sur. The 10-meter-long whale likely died 4 or 5 days before fishermen found it in the mangroves. This is such a tragic yet unreal story. And with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by one of our subscribers. If you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it on over to us. Who knows? We might even feature it on a future video. Number 2. This alien-like sculpture looks pretty real, but we couldn't find an actual location. It's shocking, but even the all-knowing Google does not know this one. There are many sculpture parks in the US and UK, and this statue could be a part of those parks. If you've got any ideas about it, or know what it is, let me know in the comments below, because damn is this one cool. Number 1. Dead dolls. And finally, what I have for you is a whole island in Mexico that screams creepiness. If you've ever been to Mexico, you know the whole country has a strange liking for dolls. Not to sound like an atheist here, but the obsession is kinda creepy. But that's nothing compared to the very popular Island of Dead Dolls in the country. The island includes a huge forest that is home to hundreds of old dead dolls. Of course, the dolls were never alive, yet they've been made to look dead with paint and gouged eyes. If you're ever in the mood for a good scare, it'd be a good idea to check out this place. The place is very popular at Halloween, believe it or not. The locals state that there are ghosts lurking around the waters, ready to jump into your body and possess you. However, you may find that the dolls themselves are scarier than any demons or spiritual beings out there. What's the weirdest thing you've found in the woods? Let us know in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.